My name is Jen Cooke. I've been in Sweet Adelines for 20 years now, which I can't believe, but actually I grew up with it. My mom is a Sweet Adeline, so I grew up going to chorus rehearsals and quartet rehearsals, all that good stuff. I direct a chorus in Chattanooga, Tennessee. They are 2 hours away from me, and I have been directing them for 10 years now. And I sing with a quartet, Presto Quartet, and we are honored to be Region 14's quartet champions. And the chorus I direct is actually Region 4. And I sing with Song of Atlanta chorus in Region 14. I'm also Region 14's new membership coordinator.
Yep.
And I also sing with a quartet called Swing Theory, and we compete in Harmony Inc. and Barbershop Harmony Society. So I kind of like barbershop, in case you hadn't figured that out already. Very, very much.
And so Swing Theory is actually Mo. So Mo and her partner have been here quite a bit in our region for coaching.
Wonderful.
So
That's
yep, we
great.
love them.
I love singing with Mo and Amelia, and then Amy Rose is our tenor, and she's absolutely lovely as well. That's great.
Yep.
And I'm sure a lot of you have been following Mo and Amelia's Beatles a Day recording.
Keep the doctor away.
So
love it.
I'm
love
amazed
it. Love
they're
it.
still at it.
It's great.
It's a blast. So
all right, let's
love
see.
every second.
So Jen, there's a couple people just said that your volume is really low.
Okay, hold on just a second.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can, is that any better?
That is better.
Yep, I just had to pull in my mic. Hello.
Hello.
There we go.
All right, we have about 48 people here, so I would say,
wonderful.
Lada, you want me to start the recording, or?
It's already running. I started running it when she started introducing herself.
Sweet.
Yep.
We're good to go then, Jen. It's all you, my love. Go.
All right, wonderful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you kind of a class presentation, but that doesn't mean, so let me explain a little bit about myself as a teacher. I'm very collaborative as a teacher. So if you have things to add or something for the good of the whole, do not hesitate. And I know I have my friends who are monitoring the chat room and making sure we're keeping track of that. So please, please, please don't hesitate to speak up. And like I said, I'm just going to talk about the basics first. I like to make sure we're covering any gaps, and then we'll actually go into a faux rehearsal and kind of talk about that as well. So let me get this up. I'm going to share my screen with you. I always tell my chorus, you know, because there's always a little lag where I'm like sharing a screen or opening. I'm like, I know you all really love watching me stare at my computer screen while I figure that out. I just do it for their entertainment pretty much at this point. So same thing right here. You can watch me share my screen with you. It will be super exciting. Oh, and I'm assuming I can find my screen. Hold on just a second. Let me pop this up. Oh, that's why. See, and I talk to myself too, which they really enjoy. Here we go. All right, can you all see that? Yes, yes, yes. Okay, fabulous. Okay, so basically we're just talking about effective planning for online rehearsals. And what I'm doing, I'm just going to go through the basics like I said before. So I'm going to start with rehearsal components, because these components kind of change as we look at online rehearsing. And I will say, as a director, when this first came through and I knew we were going to have to do some online rehearsing, I was very, very determined that my online rehearsals were going to look exactly like my in-person rehearsals. Like if we spend 20 minutes on this song in person, we're going to spend 20 minutes on this song online. And I quickly figured out that that does not work, because there's screen fatigue. There's not the connection of singing on the risers together, just a lot of different stuff. So I had to learn how to modify these components of my rehearsal to fit what I was doing online. So when we look at those components, so it's just the stuff that we always do in our rehearsal, right? We need to make sure there are opportunities for our members to sing. Oh, and I was talking to another vocal educator today, and she was saying that she was talking to a neuroscientist or neurosurgeon or something like that, who said that when people are in trauma, if they sing, singing actually bypasses that trauma section of the brain and helps us deal with trauma. And the thing that we're dealing with right now is we have a lot of people in trauma and not a lot of opportunities for them to sing. So we have to make sure that somehow there's a singing component during our rehearsal, whether it's doing the warm-ups, whether it's singing along with learning tracks, singing along with rehearsal recordings, some opportunity to sing. Some sort of engaging education. And this is such an opportunity right now because I'm excited. On Monday night, Sandy Marin is coming to my rehearsal. I could never afford to fly her in from Canada right now, but she's coming in to visit my rehearsal because she can do that online. And we're looking at that as an opportunity we would not have otherwise. So bringing in coaches and guests. If you have an education team, they can plan some things to present. Videos, and we'll kind of go through that when I do the mock rehearsal. And time to check in and socialize. And I will admit freely, this is not one of my strengths as a director. I am all about the music. We're going to get better. We're going to learn this music. You can talk on your own time. But I'm finding, again, because people are more isolated, they actually need time to socialize during rehearsal. So I have turned that over to a team because I'm not good at it, and they are. So they come up with some sort of team building activity, theme, something that's going on so that we can have that socialization time. All right, and you can see the things under there: sharing time, random breakout groups. A lot of times my members just use the chat box because I mute them all, and I can really see what's going on in their brains during rehearsal. I'm like, oh, I wish I could do this during our regular in-person rehearsal. Also, oh, so sorry, hold on. Missed one, there it goes. Small group learning. So time for people to not have to be a part of the whole, but be smaller groups, whether it's sectionals and breakout rooms, whether it's just random breakout conversations. This is a great time for ear training. This was so interesting. I was playing a rehearsal recording for my chorus. And as we were listening to it, I was pointing out sometimes when our tongue position was not correct. I could hear it. And one of my members talked to me later and she said, you know, we never get to sit down front and hear ourselves and hear what you hear. And just the fact that we listened to that rehearsal recording and you told us what you were hearing and how you would fix it, it was a really valuable experience for my members that, again, they probably would not be getting in person. So that kind of ear training, teaching tags. I use the leveling DVDs a ton. We'll be doing that during our mock rehearsal. Time to move, choreography, fizz-ups. I have a very, very perky choreographer and she's always willing to dance for us and make us dance. And then some time for silliness and fun, whether it's people leading campfire songs, having theme nights where everyone's wearing a hat, which is what we did recently. My members personally like to rename themselves silly names throughout the rehearsal, and I am fine with that. So anything they can do to have a little bit of fun and humor is a really important thing. So online, how does this look different? Like I said, when I first started doing online rehearsals, I was like, I'm going to do this, 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 just like we have done it before. What I'm finding is I need to do shorter time blocks. So before, if we spent 20 minutes on a song, we're probably going to spend 10 minutes on a song. And then I'm going to have them do something completely different. So we may sing and then, okay, now we're going to watch the leveling DVD. Now we're going to have choreography. Now we're going to do sectionals. So it's a lot of interspersing of different activities because screen fatigue is a real thing. And we've got to be doing different things, accessing different parts of the brain. Finding creative ways to give feedback. I think the most frustrating things for us as a director is we cannot hear them all together and we cannot give them that in-person real-time feedback. I've been doing PVIs in front of my chorus. Some brave souls have been volunteering to do a PVI in front of the chorus. So the chorus actually gets to see and hear what the difference is making with the vocal skills and try it themselves. Some directors are sharing they do something called a popcorn unmute. And what that means is when they are singing along to a rehearsal recording or learning tracks, she will randomly unmute one person and they will be singing by now everyone's agreed to this. She's not doing this like sneaking up on them and saying, hey, I'm going to unmute you. But a small group of people may agree to that, and she'll randomly unmute them and they get to hear that person and then unmute someone else. I have not tried that with my group, I will totally admit. I'm kind of excited about it. And just doing small groups with people. Also, I'm finding as I'm watching, this is such an opportunity on Zoom to be able to see each person's face very close up. I've been able to see some jaws drop too far, some tongues in the wrong position, and I've been able to give feedback, and they can see themselves on Zoom and work on correcting that. So it's like each one of them has a mirror in front of them that they're able to see exactly what they're doing, and that's something that's been super helpful. Shorter rehearsal time. I'm finding I have had 3-hour Zoom rehearsals and I have filled it up, but I'm finding it's a little long. So I'm making my rehearsal time shorter. Sometimes I'm just reading the Zoom room and saying, okay, they've had enough for tonight. Also, my mom has started coming to my rehearsals, so she texts me a lot and says, okay, I'm tired. So that's a helpful thing too. Some directors alternate rehearsal days and then another kind of day. So they may have a rehearsal week and then next week they're doing nothing but tags. They're just having a tag night. And then another week they may be doing something else. So some directors are having straight rehearsal one week, something else the other week. A lot of my members are planning small group time outside of rehearsal. And again, that's kind of the social aspect of it. They're just hanging out on Zoom and making sure they stay connected. Oh, and here's the thing that I have found to be so helpful is when I am talking to the chorus, I have to talk to my camera, not to my face on the screen. They have to have that connection with my eyeballs to feel like that I'm looking directly at them. I don't get as much from it, but they get a ton from it. It's a small thing, but it's very important. And then there are all the Zoom tools. You've probably been learning about these already. Mute, unmute, I think is every director's favorite thing right now. I'm muting all of you. You're all muted. And then, and of course, when we're singing together, we need to be muted. But we are joking that when we get back together in person, that I should have a big red button that I can just push and that they're supposed to mute themselves at that point. There's the electronic hand raising. So I can have a list and see who's raising their hand, unmute them if they have a question or something to say.
So Jen, can I interrupt for 1 second?
Yes, please.
You typically have a tech team that's helping you doing rehearsal, right? So you're just running rehearsals like Karen said, and then someone else is helping you with the mechanics of muting and unmuting and hands and no hands and questions.
So that's a great question. I will freely admit I am a control freak. I actually run the tech myself, but I am unusual in that. Most directors do have, yes, let's just say special, yes. Special. But most directors do have someone who's managing that for them. Yeah, but I usually do it myself. Yeah. I have recently learned how to direct stream our Zoom to our Facebook page, which is wonderful because several of my members feel more comfortable watching it later on Facebook Live rather than being directly into a screen in rehearsal. So I can direct stream our Zoom rehearsal to our private Facebook page. It stays there from then on and people can go back and view it. And for me, that's easier than trying to record and save the recordings. I like just streaming it.
Jen, can you actually, I don't know if we can do that here. What are the steps to do that? Do you know?
I'm actually going to share my screen during the mock rehearsal and
Awesome.
show how I set that up. Yes.
Perfect.
I will totally do that. It's wonderful. I use polls, which I'll be showing you how to use that tonight. Sometimes the poll is what tag do you want to sing tonight? And then other times we actually use it for more educational things, and I'll show you how that works. Obviously breakout rooms. You can assign people randomly, or you can set those up for sectionals. Now, when I set them up for sectionals, because my members like to rename themselves and I don't know who's who, I ask for every member to rename themselves with their voice part first and then their name. So all I have to do is look down and say, oh, here are all the leads. I'm going to put them in the lead room. It saves a lot of time getting people assigned to breakout rooms. There's the spotlight video where you can spotlight one person who's big on the screen, and I usually do that for choreography and PVIs. Like I said, renaming, because my people love to rename. There's screen sharing, and I've recently learned also how to share my computer audio without having to share my screen. And I love that for when we're singing along with learning tracks or rehearsal recordings, because I can still see everybody. So that's been super helpful. Any questions? All right, I'm going to move on. So a couple of sample schedules. This is an earlier one where I was a little more ambitious about song time and all of that stuff, but you can see that I try to intersperse a bunch of different things so that, again, it keeps things rolling. I have a warm-up team, so at least one person is leading warm-ups besides myself. We've been using the leveling performance DVDs. I've been doing 30 minutes for sectionals because seriously, it takes like 5 minutes on either side to get people in and out of the rooms and all together. So we just need that time. Bubs is our Building Unity Beyond Sound. That's our team building person. She does a segment every other week, and then the other week is education. Our fishbowl PVIs. And then we've been doing choreo spotlights where we are singing along to a song and I spotlight our choreographer during the song. So she's actually doing the choreography with the song and people can follow along if they want to. And then you can see this one, I even got better about smaller time increments for everything. 10 minutes on a song, 10 minutes on this, and then we're switching to something else. And this one works better than the first one I showed you, those little increments of time. I'm going to keep going. Yes. Okay, so let's talk about some tools that are out there. These are things you may already know, but I want to share. So how many of you have been using Kathleen Hansen at all? Yes, fabulous. So Kathleen has videos out that are a variety of educational things that are wonderful to share with the chorus. This one is one where she's, I believe, just sharing vocal warm-ups.
Hi, I thought it would be good to run a few warm-up videos. So we'll just do some vocalizing here together. Before we start, I always like to advocate taking a moment of stillness. Check in with the body. Take a couple deep breaths.
So you can see Kathleen does some great stuff and she has a YouTube channel and I'll share that resource later on. And this is shameless self-promotion, but I also have a channel where you can do tags and rounds and all kinds of stuff. I am not the only one who does that. In fact, I think there's someone in this room who does tags as well. Am I correct? Angie. Yes, Angie, do you have your YouTube channel up yet?
She may be in the middle of making dinner because she's got to work tonight.
Bless her heart. Well, I was looking for her YouTube channel and she's fabulous as well. She's doing a tag a day and she teaches it so very well.
Yeah, she's checking she's going to probably set YouTube up and it'll also be on the Region 1 website for everybody.
Wonderful, wonderful. Great stuff. And I'm going to pass by, you've heard and seen me. This is something new you may or may not know about. This is a director's Google Drive that Ann Downton has created. I know it's hard to see the folders. This is something that is contributed to by directors pretty much all over the world right now. So we have surveys that people are giving to their choruses. We have coaches who are willing to come to your chorus, connection ideas, goal setting, a Zoom record, just a whole bunch of stuff. If you are interested in the link to that, I have it at the end of this presentation and I will share it with you all. But it is a treasure trove.
Hey, Jen.
Yeah.
Real quick, hi.
Here she is.
I do have a YouTube page. I only have my first 10 videos up,
okay.
But I will be uploading the rest that I've done. And I'll be
Wonderful.
putting that in my link tonight on the virtual one, or the Region 1 virtual page, the s2020 chat. So that link will also be in my new tag that comes out tonight.
Great. And I'm sure you will not mind me including it in further presentations.
Not at all. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thanks, Angie.
Share away.
Appreciate that.
Yes, please.
So there's that, this moving forward Google Drive. And then I don't know if you all are familiar with Jordan Travis, but he has stuff on YouTube. Basically, he has changed the way I do Zoom because he shares ways to share audio and everything else specifically for choral directors. So I learned how to share my audio only from him. He's got a lot of stuff on YouTube, and it's very step-by-step.
Hi, choral leaders. This is the second installment of some cool things that you can do on Zoom that will really help your chorus or choir just flourish that much more.
You can see he's great, and I have the link to his stuff as well. And then Annalisa Glad has made some Kahoots, which are some fun quizzes that have to do with Sweet Adelines that you can actually share during your rehearsal. So if you're looking for that social game aspect, and Annalisa will even come to your rehearsal and host the Kahoot for you if you would like her to do that. She is just a little ball of energy. You have to love her. You have no choice. And then, of course, there are the Sweet Adeline tools on our website for members only that help us know how to set up the Zoom meeting and all of that good stuff, and rehearsal ideas. All of that's there on the Sweet Adeline page. Questions or any resources of which you know that I haven't shared? I'm a teacher. I have great wait time. All right, and then just some ways you can use your chorus leadership during rehearsal. Section leaders obviously can lead those section breakout rooms. They can host online sessions outside of rehearsal time, like they could have a little lead meeting, a little baritone meeting. They can also contact members. So here's the thing, and I'm sure you've talked about this. Those people for whom technology is super stressful are having a hard time getting on the online rehearsals. A lot of times a phone call makes all the difference for those people. And a lot of my section leaders are calling those people who are struggling and saying, hey, how can I help you? Can I share the recordings with you? Can I talk this through with you? And it really does make a difference. And our section leaders know the people very well. Your music team can lead warm-ups. They can share education. They can be guinea pigs for new strategies. When I first started doing the Fishbowl PVIs, some of my music team members were the ones who agreed to do it first. The board or team can work on team building. They can plan theme nights. They can help with the goal setting. Like one of the things that a lot of directors are sharing are, how do I set goals for my chorus right now? Because we don't know what we're doing in the next few months. And so bringing that together is helpful.
Jen, Rhonda has a question about,
yes.
Is there a way, so the question is, can you do everything without a computer, just an iPad or an iPhone?
You can, so on Zoom, on Zoom, you can call in and just listen. It's not as, interactive, but there, in each invitation, there are numbers where people can actually just call in if they want to listen. Yes, ma'am.
I think she might mean, can you do all of this from a director's point of view, like presenting all these things from an iPad or iPhone?
Got you. Yes. Thank you. Sorry, I misinterpreted the question.
Thanks, Paula.
Honestly, I would have to explore that more. To be honest, I do everything from my desktop computer. So I've not had a lot of experience doing it from my iPad. I know there's a Zoom app for the iPad. I'm guessing the phone would probably be the most restrictive as far as what features you could manage on that.
Yeah, I will say using an iPad to host things is a little bit more difficult. And as you go down to the smaller, yeah, and also the buttons are different, and sometimes the mechanics of it is a little more difficult.
And I know from a technical perspective that the RAM on a phone or an iPad is just slower than a computer. And
Yes.
so it's hard for your iPad to keep up with what your computer is able to keep up with. So I think that it's mostly compatible, but there are a few things that it just can't keep up. That's the only
Right.
problem. So.
And that may be a great reason to have someone else who is your tech person, someone maybe with a desktop computer who can manage all of that for you while you run rehearsal. For sure. And there are lots of tutorials out there for all aspects of Zoom. So if an iPad is all you have, you can definitely research that and figure it out. And then, of course, the membership team is just helping members connect, I got to fix that. Providing materials for guests, keeping the chorus connected. My membership team are the ones who say, hey, you need to check in on this person or you need to do this. And they're super helpful with all
So
of
Jen,
that.
really quickly, Melissa had a question about, are you hardwired to your internet or are you using a Wi-Fi connection?
I am using Wi-Fi.
As am I when I use my
Yeah.
Zoom.
And when I was right before I was supposed to host something, my internet went out. I actually used my phone's hotspot and it worked pretty well, surprisingly. So I think it depends on where you are too, though. I'm in a pretty good place for Wi-Fi. So you can't go wrong with hardwiring it in, honestly, if you're able to do that. Great question. And then just looking at your own growth strategy, what I found was the more I learned about Zoom, the more I wanted to do everything all at once. And I made myself add one new thing every week instead of trying to do 3 billion new things in one rehearsal. So kind of planning out where you are now as far as where online rehearsals are. What's a manageable next step for your chorus? Like, do you just need to have a tech person? Do you need to add a feature? Do you need to start doing rehearsals altogether? What you need to do to accomplish that, and then how you'll put that step into action. Using your people, using your membership, all of that good stuff. It's just figuring out what your next steps are for your online rehearsals and realizing you don't have to do everything at once. And then just all the resources I was talking about are right here. I will make sure that this gets to you all. But so this director's connection thing at the top, this is something that that I've been working on with Kathleen Hansen and Ann Doughton, where directors are just getting together for Zoom connections like every couple of weeks. And all we do is get together as directors, support each other, give each other ideas, and talk. If you're interested in being part of that, you just email me and I'll get you in on that. We've got the Sweet Adeline website, the Sweet Adeline Directors Facebook page, YouTube channel. I'm going to add Angie to that. And the Moving Forward Google Drive, which I'll be happy to share with you all.
Hey, Jen, we have a couple of questions coming in.
Wonderful.
The first one is, are you using PowerPoint for the slides you're doing right now?
Oh, I am using something called Prezi.
Ah, yes.
It is a fabulous tool. It's fun. And it's an online, in fact, I don't know if this will switch for you, but these are all my presentations and I can access them. It's really fun.
Cool. Yeah, it's a great program.
Mm-hmm.
And Sally's asking, what is Jordan Travers' connection?
As far as who he is,
I'm not sure.
he is a director with Harmony Inc. In fact, his chorus is the current international champion chorus. He also is doing some virtual choir stuff. He's a lovely guy. He really is.
Okay, so she's saying how to see his videos. They're on YouTube, right?
They're on YouTube, and I included the link, I believe, in the resource links. I'm pretty sure. Oh, no, I sure didn't. I'll make sure and add that to it, and I'll send you guys the link for that, for his
And then,
stuff.
Carolee, the resources, I'm going to get, I took a screenshot of those, but I'm sure Jen can send that to me as well.
Oh, yes, so. I absolutely will.
And we can send that out to TCs and directors, and they can send it to their teams.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay, I'm going to stop my share for a second. Hey there, everyone. All right. Oh, any questions before we kind of go into a faux rehearsal?
We have a couple more questions.
Yes.
How many members do you have in your chorus?
Currently I have 65 members, and we are seeing around 55 or 60 come to rehearsal.
Sorry, my dog's barking.
That's okay.
Is Jordan the one sight singing? Ba, B-A-A, ba? I don't know.
I don't know.
Rhonda, if you can clarify that question, that'd be great. What mic are you using?
Oh, oh, y'all. So I'm gonna freely admit, all my technical stuff comes from my husband, who does all this stuff. He bought this mic, and I have no idea what mic it is, but I will find out and tell you. He just says, this is a good mic for you to use for your tracks. And I'm like, okay, thanks, honey. And yeah. I know, it's terrible. I should know this.
You're spoiled.
I know. Yeah, I pretty much am.
Rhonda says, is Jordan the one sight singing baritone?
Sight singing baritone. I don't know. I'm sorry.
All
Rhonda,
right.
come off mute, Rhonda.
Yeah.
Oh,
You're good.
Hey, Rhonda.
oh, hello. Hi, Jen. Do you remember me from Harmony?
I was
Okay.
going to say, I know that face. Yep, it's good to see you again.
Good to see you. No, I think he was the one that somebody shared a video from him the other day, and he actually will take pieces of music and sight sing the baritone. They're so fun. They're hilarious.
That would not surprise me at all from Jordan. He is a
I
fun
think it was
guy.
GQ. Yeah, it was GQ that posted it.
Oh, fabulous. I'll have to look for that.
Yeah.
He is a blast.
Yeah, and it was just him singing baritone, which is
Ray,
bizarre.
Is that Ben?
Ray is saying that it's Ben from
It's
Pratt
Ben
Street.
from
Power.
it's
Pratt
Ben.
Street.
Okay.
Ben.
Yes, it's Ben.
Well-
He's done all baritone parts for like the last 5 weeks. It's insane. Women's and men.
Just wrong. That's
There's
all I
so
have
many
to
good
say.
videos out there. You get 'em all confused. Thank you.
Oh, no problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of show you from the back to front, just kind of how I go through a rehearsal, and have you all participate in some stuff if you'd like. And then if you have questions, we'll kind of go from there. Again, I know that some of you are probably doing all of this stuff, and some of this may be very new to some of you, and feel free to ask questions or add as we go along.
Jen, before we move on,
Yes.
there was a question that came in a while back, and I just remembered. Someone was curious, the schedule that you had, they were asking what platform you had that on, because they weren't sure. And they liked the way it looked.
We use Harmony Site, if you're familiar with that.
Yes, we have many people on that in our
Yes,
region.
and so I post all of my rehearsal schedules on Harmony Site for my members to access, so they know what we're doing. And then I just did a screenshot from the Harmony Site. I tell you, we love it, and the customer service is
amazing.
fabulous. Absolutely fabulous.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great site.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And speaking of which, if you look on our hold on just a second. Is that where I am? No. That's where I want to be. See, again, I talk to myself all the time. My chorus finds it hilarious. So this is actually on our website. And if you can see, this is kind of the back part of our website. I can actually here post an announcement, and I have the option to have that announcement automatically emailed to all of my members. So that's how I let them know the Zoom meeting information, is I post it as an announcement on our private part of our website, and then I can automatically have it emailed to everyone who's on the website, which is wonderful. It's very, very helpful. Now, when I go in and I've already set up my Scenic City rehearsal, you can see here. So in order to stream onto Facebook, I first have to go into my settings, and I'm going to go into, let's see. Yep, I'm going to come down here. We have to scroll down a bit. It's actually under not meeting basic, but meeting advanced. I'll just keep going. So here's our in meeting advanced settings. And if you scroll down, you will see allow live streaming meetings. You turn that on and then you choose whatever platforms you want to use. I have Facebook and YouTube, but I primarily do Facebook. And you can set that, and then from now on, I can actually stream my, when I go into my meeting, at the bottom, there are 3 little dots that say more, and when I click on it, I'm able to stream the entire meeting onto Facebook Live, which is wonderful. It's one of my favorite assets.
Jen, can you obviously can pick where you're live streaming. What
Yes,
page?
yes. Once you click on more and live stream, it will ask you where you want to live stream it. I always take it straight to my private Facebook.
Page.
Yeah, for our chorus. Yes, great question. Also something, and you may have already talked about this. I always regret doing the virtual background, but it's so funny. Let me see if I can find, oh, sorry, I'm back on. Let me go back up to basic. Also making sure that I can do polling. So this is under just the basic meeting, and I have clicked on polling. So this allows me to have polls during my rehearsal. Now, the thing about polls is you actually have to set them up before you meet. You can't do them in meeting. So when I go to my meetings and I click on this particular meeting, Scenic City Rehearsal, and I scroll down to the bottom, you can see here where it says poll, and then I can add a poll. I can put the title. I always make it anonymous because a lot of what we do is talking about leveling and stuff, and I don't want anyone to worry about me looking at their answer. So you can make it anonymous. You do the question and all of the answers that you want to give to them. The great thing is in meeting, you can share the poll, they take the poll, and then you can share the results of the poll. Like, you know, 50% of you want to learn this tag tonight, or, you know, and they can actually see the results of the poll. I'm using it a lot, and they're laughing at me because I'm polling them for everything right now because I love the poll feature so much. But you can do that within your meeting.
So Jen, Wendy asked, how do you save the results of the poll?
The poll is really kind of like an in-meeting kind of flash type thing where you're just kind of reading the room. I don't really use it as a survey. I use it just more of, hey, this is what we're doing. It's more of an immediate thing. I believe there is an option after you give the poll where I think you can save the results. And the only reason I'm saying I think is because I've never actually done that myself. So we'll have to look tonight when we do the poll during the rehearsal and see if we can save the results. And then we'll be able to answer that for sure.
So someone said, take a screenshot, which I think is always a good
it's
backup
always
option.
A good answer, right?
Yeah.
Always screenshot, yes.
Yeah. And then
Picture with your phone.
Angie's asking, if multiple people are hosting, do they all have to have the same settings in Zoom for the call? So if you have a co-host, do they have to have
the poll set up? I don't believe so.
So we have host and co-host right now. So can you guys access the poll that I set up earlier, Jen? You have access to it, right?
Let me take a peek here. Hold on. I'm going to stop share so I can look. Yes, I can access that poll.
Yep. So Angie, I'm actually considered quote unquote the host because it's the regional site. And then Lala and Jen are both co-hosts and they can access the poll that I set up for Jen earlier.
Yep.
Hopefully that helps answer your question.
Great question. Awesome. So when I start rehearsal, I'm going to go ahead. Hold on. I'm going to stop my share for a second because I'm going to share something else with y'all. What I do is I have a folder already set up on my desktop. And in that folder is everything I am going to need for rehearsal that night. I have all my learning tracks in there. I have all of my rehearsal recordings, any sheet music I want to look at. If I'm going to use anything I'm going to use for rehearsal, I have it in this folder so I don't have to look all over the place for stuff on my computer. I've already done that a couple rehearsals. I learned quickly. So it's a super helpful thing to have, is just all of it in one place. I'm also, and I'm going to share just my computer audio with you all right now. So when we do warm-ups, I'm lucky that I have a keyboard that is hooked up to my computer because of what I do with learning tracks.
So Jen, I'm going to interrupt you just really quickly.
Yes, please.
So Christina is asking, so these settings are only accessible through the website, not the app. And Christina, maybe you might want to take yourself off mute. I assume you're talking about like the polling, the other features.
Angie says yes. That is what she's talking about.
Yeah, yeah. So you have to set up like defaults within the Zoom account for defaults to allow polls or.
Yes, and once you set those up, they should go across your wherever your account is. They should
Stick.
apply.
They should stick. Yep.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of things, again, you go in and set it up once, and especially the stuff that Jordan Travis shares about the audio, you can set it up once and then it's there, which is wonderful. Great questions. Please keep those coming. So I'm going to, I can share, do you all know how to share your audio without having to share your screen? Yeah, I see some yes, I see some no. Okay. Let me see if I can do this. This is going to be fun. Okay, yeah, that's not going to work. I thought maybe. So when I go to share screen, and you'll see this in Jordan's video, it opens up a window, and at the top of the window there are tabs that say Basic, Advanced, and Files. If I go to Advanced and click on it, there's a box that says Music or Computer Sound Only. If I click on that, I can share my computer sound now, but I can still see all of you, and I'm not having to share my screen. So right now I'm sharing my computer sound. So like I said,
you repeat that, Jen, where you went for that?
Down at the bottom of your screen where it says share screen, you can do that in meeting. So if it says share screen, and when you click on share screen, that box opens up. And at the top of that box, there are 3 tabs. One of them says advanced. I can't figure out how to share my screen and me sharing my screen. Does that make sense? But then you can share just your audio, which is what I'm doing now. So I can share my keyboard. I can share that with them as I go through warm-ups with them. And I also, in my rehearsal recording, I went on iTunes and just downloaded some 99-cent warm-ups that I can play for them online. And that's a helpful thing sometimes, you know, just to have them go through it. And I especially like these people because they're so enthusiastic. So I can
Zoom me. Example.
see, he gets so excited about the example. And I can play that for them. And then it's all, and again, it's all just the audio, so I can actually see what my people are doing during the warm-ups, right? We all like to say example together. We just think that's fun. So I can share that with them. I can also share rehearsal recordings and learning tracks so I can actually see what's going on when we're doing that.
Hey, Jen, we have a bunch of questions coming in.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, I shall answer them.
We have, so Linda, you're saying you can't share your screen. Do you need to be a co-host for this? I think right now our setting is that, so it depends on the setting. So we have it set that participants cannot share their screen. The host has control over that. So this particular meeting, only the hosts have screen share.
But you can go into your meeting settings and set it up so anyone can share their screen. I do that during my rehearsal because I have a lot of different people taking different parts of the rehearsal.
And then Christina says, oh, so what do you see?
When I'm sharing my audio?
Yes.
I see exactly what I see when I'm not sharing my audio. I see all of you in the meeting right now. The only thing that's being shared from my computer screen is my audio. So I can see all of you just like I do normally.
And
That's
she's
why I
asking,
love it so much.
can you also, while you see everyone's faces, also see your audio file so that you can control your audio file?
Yes. My audio file is over here on a separate screen, and I can control that at the same time that I'm seeing everything that's going on.
Okay.
Again, that's why ideally, I think if you have access to a desktop computer, because I have a relatively big screen on mine, it really does help with the managing of all these different windows. Otherwise, having someone else doing the tech stuff for you is a helpful thing as well, because then you don't have to manage all of that.
Right.
Totally up to you.
Then the other one, and this might not be a possibility for you, someone's asking, do you have another device that you can log into to show us how to turn on the audio only?
Let me see what I can do, y'all. Give me 2 shakes here. And again, I know it's very, very exciting but I know exactly what I'm going to do. This is so low tech, but here we go. I'm recording this on my phone. I'm going to put that on my computer and I'm going to share it with you all. I'm sure there's a better way to do this. So I'm clicking on share screen and I'm going up here. There's basic and advanced, and I'm clicking on music or computer sound only. And then I click on share. All right. I'm going to put that in my Dropbox. I'll share it with you in just a second.
Perfect. Thank you.
Other questions?
Are you running on 2 screens for your computer?
No, just one screen. But I will say I have an exceptionally big screen because this is also the computer I do learning tracks on, and I have to have a big screen for editing. So I'm able to do a lot of different windows on it. Sorry, I'm putting this in Dropbox.
Does anyone else have any more questions for now?
I love the questions. Just saying.
So far we have nothing, but I know you're waiting for that to come through so you can share it.
Let's see, it may have already popped up. It was a pretty short video. Let me look real quickly. Again, this is a lot of times, a lot of my rehearsal time is them watching me watch my screen, trying to find my rehearsal recordings or my learning tracks. Or it's enjoyable. I usually try to talk to them. Hey, how you doing? All right. No, not quite yet, but it's almost up. Yep, almost up. So so I share my audio a lot so I can see what's going on with my people. Actually, while we're doing that, why don't we look at the poll function real quickly, and then I'll come back and show you that video, okay? So something that I love to use with my chorus are these leveling, I know it's backwards, leveling DVDs that I bought a long time ago at International, but there's still a leveling DVD on sale at Sweet Adeline's. It's small and mid-sized choruses, and it's great because it comes with the DVD, and it also comes with what each performance scored and why they scored that way, which is really fun. So what I like to do is share my screen, and again, you're going to have to give me just a second here. I'm going to put the DVD in.
While you're doing that, can you answer a question?
Yes, of course.
How much time do you spend on pre-rehearsal prep?
Oh, yeah. I was just talking to a director friend of mine about this. So much more time than I used to, really, truly. Okay, hold on just a second. This is popping up. I don't want this to, okay, there. You know, because a lot of what we do is, hold on, sorry. I'm not looking at you and I want to look at you. There we go. So much of I feel like what I did was reactionary to what was going on the risers. Like, I'm hearing this, I'm going to start working on this, or I'm hearing, you know, I have 20 minutes of this song, but I don't always know exactly what we're going to work on because it'll depend on what I hear. Now I have to plan every minute because it's just me, and usually everyone's muted, which feels so weird when I feel like I'm talking to myself. You know, there's so much in body language. So I spend quite a bit more time on preloading and quite a bit more time thinking about what I'm going to do. Like, we're not just going to sing along with the learning tracks twice for this. We're going to do bass alone, and everyone's going to duet with bass alone, and they're going to see how their part goes against the bass. Or we're going to listen to this rehearsal recording and we're going to see, okay, what places were our tongues too far back and we lost our resonance. So it's a lot more very intentional. This is what we're going to do in this time frame, as opposed to I'm going to react to what they're doing. So it's very interesting. I'm just saying that. Very. So this exercise I do with my chorus, I'm not going to do the whole thing. We'll just watch just a little bit of it. But I just think this is fun, and we've gotten a lot of interesting things out of it. So I'm going to share my screen with you now. So give me just a second to get off of that. There it is. All right, so what I like to do is take the, sorry. So we'll play a performance. I don't know if this is anyone who's actually in the room. Oh, sorry. Pause for a second. What I usually do before I show this is I watch the performance and say, hey, listen for how they do their word sounds, or listen for ends of phrases or free resonance, or watch their jaw position and see how that affects. So I'm giving them something very specific for which to watch or listen. So that kind of guides, instead of just saying, hey, listen to this, let's think about these things, and especially in relation to what we're learning as a chorus. So I just picked these people at random. So what I want you to be thinking about in the sound category, what level would you give this chorus? And you will have a choice from C- all the way up to A+. So in the sound category, what level would you do? And I'm going to just play the first part of this for you. So we're going to do some instant leveling. Here we go.
I used to be the first one to cry when I think what tomorrow would bring. Then you came my way, turned my night into day. I know what tomorrow will bring.
I'm going to stop right there. I actually know exactly who this chorus is. So normally we would watch the entire thing, but again, this is just for the exercise of seeing how this works. So I will stop my share, and this is when I do my poll. So you're just going to choose what level you think this chorus would be if you're instant leveling them. And then in the chat box, I want you to put just a small sentence of why you gave them that level. Here we go. And it's anonymous, so I won't know what you put. I can see that 23 people have voted, so it tells me how many people are voting and what percentage of the attendees are voting. I'm going to give you just a couple more minutes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I'm going to end the polling, and now I can share the results with you all. So now you should be able to see the results. Now I will say right now, I do not have a save poll results option. So if you want to save it, you would keep a screenshot. And then we would talk about, okay, oh, by the way, that was for this time period, and this was like before 2011, this was an A-level performance, just so you know. I know, but, and keep in mind too, we didn't hear the whole thing, all that good stuff. This is kind of instant leveling thing. And I love, and so I would pull out a comment and say, okay, resonance present, exactly. We definitely heard some resonance. What kind of things, do you think they were doing that would create that resonance? And then that's when we would go into the electronic hand raising. Do you all know how to do that and to manage that? Yes? So I would look for someone, and I pull up the list too so I can see who has their hand raised. Like Rhonda has her hand raised, so I unmute her so she can say something.
Hello.
Hey, Rhonda. And then I can actually lower Rhonda's hand, which is so much power, right? I'm always joking about how I'm just slapping people's hands down. You're done. Did you have something to say, really, Rhonda, or were you being a good example for me? Thank you. And then I'm going to mute Rhonda. But because my chorus is working toward, we're at B+ now, we're working toward A-. I've been showing them a lot of B+ and a lot of A-, and we've been talking about the differences and kind of voting on where we think they are, and talking then about what we can do to make those strides. Polling is fun.
There is a question. It came in a little while ago, but are the leveling DVDs available for download directly?
Not now. I'm correct in that, right, Karina? We don't have them digitally. Yeah, only DVD for now. But I will say, another director had a great idea. She said, I just look on Sweet Adeline's website at like last year's international, and I see where people scored, and I find their performances on YouTube. And I just play those performances, and then we talk about them. You won't necessarily get the sheet that has like the judges' comments, but I mean, we know what we're talking about. We can find those.
Someone says, as the host, does poll show up somewhere at the bottom of your screen?
Yes, it does. There's, once I put that together, there is at the bottom it says security, it says participants, and right next to it, it says polls. I can set up as many polls as I want for the entire evening. I just click on where it says polls, and I click on launch, and it will launch the poll for me.
Yep, and the host and the co-host both have that accessible to their screens.
Yes. And again, sometimes it's a little check-in. Sometimes it's what tag do you want to learn tonight? It's just another way to interact with your members, quite frankly. The more you can interact and the more they can feel like they are individually being heard and can contribute to the rehearsal, the better. And that's why after I do the leveling DVD, I do spend some time unmuting people who raise their hand and have them speak. In fact, I do that a lot in my rehearsals. I really encourage hand raising and someone needing to comment or say something about the rehearsal, allowing them to do that. Otherwise, it's just me talking at them a lot. And I am entertaining, but still.
We currently have no more questions right now.
Okay, wonderful. Well, like I said before, we, as part of the rehearsal time, we also do what's called a fishbowl PVI. And for that, we use spotlight video. So if I'm giving Karina a PVI, if I put my mouse over her face, up in the corner of her screen, it says unmute, and then there are 3 little dots. I can click on those 3 little dots and make her a spotlight. Hey, Karina, there you are. And while I'm giving my PVI, she's unmuted, I'm unmuted, but I keep her as the spotlight. So people can actually see what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the vocal posture and all the other stuff, and can really concentrate on what she's doing. And then when I'm done, do you feel the spotlight on you, Karina? Does it? There's up at the top left, there's something that says cancel the spotlight video. And I just click on that. And then I have to click back on gallery view. It doesn't take me automatically out of it. I click up on the right-hand side and I can see all of you again. I also use spotlight video when my choreographer is taking over so that we can see her big on the screen and watch what she does. So spotlight video is fun. Sometimes I did it one time just because I liked the hat one of my members was wearing, and it freaked her out because I didn't tell her I was going to do it. All of a sudden she was just on the spotlight. So that works very well for PVIs and all of that. And then of course there's just the singing time, right? For singing time, as many rehearsal recordings that I have that I like and think are representative of where we are right now, I prefer they sing with the rehearsal audio, the recordings, but I use learning tracks if I don't have those. In fact, you know, we're song passing on a song right now that we have not sung together in the same room because we started learning it after online rehearsals. And they are passing it by recording themselves with the part missing against the learning tracks.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sally says, does the spotlight choice only appear on the host screen?
It must, yes. I don't think, which is good because my members would totally be randomly spotlighting each other. I just know them. They would totally do that.
Yep.
But yeah,
Host or co-host.
Or co-host, yes,
Yep.
because I am co-host. So anything I can do right now, the co-host can do because I am a co-host.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's just for the host or co-host to do. But yes, as much singing time as possible. And I make a conscious choice beforehand, whether it's going to be, I'll say, hey, we're just going to sing and perform this song twice through, no stops. We're just doing it with the learning tracks or the rehearsal recording. Sometimes it's, hey, we're going to listen to this rehearsal recording, find these places where we could do some better stuff. And then you're going to sing along with that recording, and you're going to be aware of those places, and we're going to work on making that better. I always tell them, if I'd known these were the rehearsal recordings we were going to be listening to for months, I wouldn't have talked so much through them. I love that you all are nodding. Thank you so much. Because, oh my gosh, I talk so much during their singing. I just get so excited. So we'll listen to those and do that. And again, learning tracks. And what I have found that I need to do, and I've been doing, is I have to practice with the learning tracks. So because those songs that I count off, I have to learn how to count them off with the tracks so that they are ready to start when the tracks start. That's been interesting. I am doing little to no actual directing during the time I'm doing on, because the lag is crazy. I'm also directing like a T-Rex half of the time with my little hands up here. So we are looking at it as an opportunity for my chorus to become more chorus driven. And I've said to them, there is no excuse for you to not know the interp on this ballad, because we've been listening to the same recording of this ballad for the past month. So by the time we're back together, you're not going to need me in front of you anymore. You're just going to be able to do this. So it's been good for me too. Just saying. Trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, so when we have guests, and we've had quite a few guests and quite a few observers lately in our rehearsal, which I'm thrilled about. And I don't know if you know, there are several choruses who have brought in brand new members who have never been in the same room with their chorus. Lionsgate is one of those. Grand Traverse has done the same. And there are some directors who are sharing ways they are doing open auditions online to bring in new members to their chorus. And the director is sharing. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Oh, I'm so sorry. I got so caught up in everything. I forgot I have a video to share with you all, don't I? Give me just a second. This is how I am in rehearsal too. I get very excited about things. And all right, let me find that video for you very quickly. There it is. There it is. All right. Oh, hold on. Okay. So this won't be fabulous quality because it's from my phone, but I'm going to share the video of how I share audio only. Give me 2 shakes here. Okay. Can you all see this okay? All right, here we go. There's a better way to do this. So I'm clicking on share screen, and I'm going up here. There's basic and advanced, and I'm clicking on music or computer sound only, and then I click on share. All right. Okay, did you all get that? Want me to show it one more time? You got it all right? Yes? Okay.
Maybe do it one more time, Jen.
Okay, absolutely. Here we go. There's a better way to do this. So I'm clicking on share screen, and I'm going up here. There's basic and advanced, and I'm clicking on music or computer sound only, and then I click on share. All right. So that's how you do that. And I'll come up with a better video and share it with you all if you would
So
like.
Jen, Christine
Oh,
Hayes has a question. When you share your computer sound, can you speak and be heard
yes.
at the same time?
Yes, yes, absolutely. You can still, sometimes it's a little, the speaking's a little weird, but they can still hear you. Absolutely, yes. So I still manage to talk over our rehearsal recordings where I'm already talking over the rehearsal recordings. They love it. Actually, the link I shared, the Jordan Travis on that video, that shows us exactly how to do it as well. So when I share that YouTube link, you'll be able to see how to share your audio that way. And he does it much better than I do. Okay, so give me 2 shakes here. Oh, the other thing. So when I have guests, a lot of times I want to make sure that they're able to see what I'm talking about with the music and stuff like that. So sometimes when I'm sharing my screen, I will share the screen and the sound. And I will actually do that by, there it is. I will share the music as well. So I will tell you right now, when stuff is playing, I'm a terrible scroller. I'm listening, I forget, like they're 2 pages ahead and I forget to scroll down for them. But at least the first time through, sometimes I will share music if we have a lot of guests so they can just see what the music looks like. They're able to read along while we do the learning tracks. And honestly, this is a job that I should probably give to someone else because I'm not good at it. And just say, listen and scroll while I listen for other stuff. But
Give it up, Jen. Give it up.
I know. I'm holding on so tightly.
Linda, we are going to get the links from Jen and email them to the TCs and directors.
Yes, yes. I'll share all of that. I'm talking to you all, and I should be talking to my camera. We'll share all of that. But I do share music at times, just because it's difficult with guests, because with guests we usually give them a guest book. But if we're emailing them music, we're actually giving them the music. So we're trying to find we have some longtime guests who just couldn't get to their audition. We'll talk about auditions in a minute. Couldn't get to their audition before this happened. And we do share some music with them. Shh, oh, we're recording this. But, we trust them and we're going along with that. If we have brand new guests, we don't share sheet music with them just because of copyright. And so that's why sometimes I'll share the music on the screen. We are planning on doing some online auditioning, which should be interesting. We have 3 people who have not auditioned yet. So they are going to be singing for the music team on Zoom along with a rehearsal recording. I'll let you all know how it goes. Have any of you auditioned anyone while you've been? Oh, fabulous. How has it gone? Can someone share?
Yeah, so Millennium actually just did 2. We had someone first audition and then someone on their second audition. So yeah, it's been a challenge. It's a little, we did, everyone was muted and they played a link of their part missing and sang along with it.
Yep.
We've also thought about trying to do the a cappella app that way. But yeah, it's a challenge, but you're able to pretty well, assess how they've done.
You're able to get an idea for sure,
Yep.
and hear the potential if nothing else.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it keeps them engaged, which is the hardest part. Like, yeah, just we're 10 weeks in, and we just want to keep them engaged to join. So.
Absolutely, and I do want to encourage you all. Oh, good question. I actually can see that question. So of course our guests have well, when we have first time guests, I definitely unmute them and have them introduce themselves, and we talk to them a little bit. And a lot of times I will try, no, not me. I have let this one go. There will be a person on Zoom who will chat with them privately, which you can do in the chat box. You can chat a specific person and just say, if you have questions during the rehearsal, you can chat, you can put something in the chat box to me personally, and I will help you with it. So they actually have one person dedicated to them who will answer their questions in the chat. And that has been very helpful. I'm looking at
Christine says, sometimes we have watched videos, but they are so laggy, it's difficult. The video you showed was smooth. Is that because it was on your computer or a DVD and not YouTube/internet?
I think part of it is actually, again, from Jordan's video. He showed some things that Zoom does automatically that kind of creates some issues, at least with the audio. So again, I'll share that link. There's some settings that I worked on, at least with my audio. Part of it probably is because it's a DVD and it's not online. So it's going directly from my computer to the screen. Some of my online stuff has been laggy. And again, it just depends on your connection. And we're very patient with that as much as we can be.
Yep. Karen Sweeter says,
that's
who
true.
are you advertising for when you do the online membership drive?
So when we're talking about like online auditions and bringing people in, we definitely still try to keep to our geographical area, being aware that when we are back in person that, you know, there's the travel thing and all of that. So we're trying to keep it as local as possible. And basically it's just saying, hey, we are a singing organization. Right now we're singing online. And if you'd like to send in an audition. So the way this one director is doing it, she's having people send in a video of them just singing happy birthday or something like that. And then she has a committee of people who listen to the recordings and say, okay, you've passed the first round of auditions. Now learn this song. And you're going to work with these learning tracks and see if you can pass this second part. And she seemed to have a lot of interest in that because, again, people are looking for ways to connect through music right now. And, you know, even, I mean, honestly, I wouldn't have a problem, depending on how long we end up doing online rehearsals, if someone wanted to audition and just be a part of the chorus while we're online, if it's someone out in California or something like that, or direct them to a local chorus. But, you know, finding those connections so that when we are able to be together again, that they, again, we're thinking globally, they're a part of our organization, they can find a local chorus, they can be a part of Sweet Adelines. So
Karen, did that answer your question? Or do you want, here, why don't you talk for a second?
sorry, Karen.
Hi. I was just thinking, are you asking, so you sort of asked generally, because I wondered if it would be, if you were asking for singers. Do you know what I mean? There being a difference between women who love to sing and singers.
Yes,
and so I just wondered what you did.
That's a great question. I mean, I would definitely say that the verbiage is towards singers, especially as we talk about online auditions, singing auditions, that kind of thing. Because, man, it's so difficult because a lot of times when I do auditions for my chorus, I'm looking for potential, people I can bring up, people I can educate, and we can do that online, but it's more difficult, you know, so finding that balance and what works for your chorus and thinking long-term as well.
Right, that's what I was thinking. That was my question, what you thought. Okay.
It's a great question, Karen.
Angie's asking, where are you advertising this, on social media or elsewhere?
Social media for the most part right now, because everyone's on social media. Yes. So that's the main one. We were using Meetup for a while and we're looking if that's a way that we could also advertise auditions, but we haven't really explored deeply into that yet because I have a new media girl. So she's just getting used to everything right now. But yes, mainly social media. And there's a lot of local stuff in Chattanooga, like local pages that you can advertise stuff on.
Good idea.
Yeah. Not just the usual suspects.
That's what we've got so far.
Mm-hmm. Just saying. The other thing I wanted to talk about really quickly, I have definitely had a few members who have just been completely honest, and I've appreciated saying, I can't do online rehearsals are not for me. Have a beautiful lead singer, and she emailed and just said, it's just not for me. I'm leaving leaving the chorus for now, and I'll be back when we can be in person. And this is something I teach in my membership classes. It's so much more about how people leave, like being able to say to her, hey, I get it. You are always a member of this chorus. You are welcome back anytime. So that those people who probably already feel a little bit guilty about not being able to participate online know that there's a safe place for them to come back whenever we're able to be together again. Because, you know, it's just, I totally get it. And I told her so, that, you know, I understand that online rehearsals are not for everyone. And we have people who've stayed with us, but who've just not come to a single rehearsal. I'm hoping they're watching it on Facebook Live, but, you know, we just have to give that support. And I make a list of people who have not been to several rehearsals, and then I call them and just say, how are you doing? You know, are you holding up all right? What can I do for you? I usually don't even bring up the fact that they're not at rehearsal because then that turns into Jen's calling me because I haven't come to rehearsal in 3 weeks. And just instead saying, hey, you know what? I miss you and I just want to see how you're doing, makes a big difference. It's hard for me because I have anxiety about people leaving the chorus. I'm sure none of you experienced that at any point, right? Never. So I have to put that anxiety aside and make sure I'm making a safe, positive place for when they come back.
And Jen, you're actually picking up the phone and calling and not emailing or texting. You're actually picking the phone up.
Picking the phone up and calling,
Yeah.
yes. Because
Huge.
again, as we all know, emails can be read I can write the nicest email ever, and if the person is in the wrong frame of mind, it comes across as, oh my gosh, she hates me because I haven't been at rehearsal in this time. That tone of voice, and usually they are like, I can't believe you took the time to call me and just check on me. Yeah.
It's like the modern handwritten note.
Yes, exactly.
You pick up the phone and you talk live.
Yes. And especially for people who are a little more tech wary, being able to have that phone call and me kind of meeting them on their terms is a very good thing. Just saying. As a direct, and because I am a long distance director, I'm 2 hours away from my girls. I also have set up a long time ago office hours, because many times problems will happen in my chorus and I will hear about it too late, and they'll be like, well, we didn't want to bother you. You're so busy. We just didn't want to. So I have a time set out aside during the week on Tuesday nights where they know they can call me, that this is time set aside, and that they can talk to me about anything they want. And it has nipped so many things in the bud, just for them to be able to talk to me before it turns into a problem. So that time is worth it.
Someone said, do you drive 2 hours every week?
I do. 2 hours there, 2 hours back.
Commuters, just saying.
By yourself, Jen, or do you have a partner to drive with?
It was by myself for a long time, but now we have a dual member from Metro Nashville, and she rides with me.
Nice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Jen, I feel ya. We drive 3 hours to Millennium Magic rehearsals.
Right? When it's worth it, it's worth it.
It's totally worth it. I wanted to share something just that on a tag that you were saying about a video that I watched. I have a background in special needs, so this came to my inbox, and it was remembering that everyone's brain works differently. And for some people, the multiple boxes and the constant stimulation in their ears and their eyes, it triggers something in them. Maybe they have a learning disability that they didn't even know they had, or something like that. Yep. And it's just too overwhelming for them. And so I think just remembering to be gentle with each other, just like you said, because this is bringing up stuff that we've never had to face before, that we might not have even realized we had an issue with, or it's triggering something. There was a woman that had a seizure, and she had never had seizures before because she had never been online so much.
Oh my
and
gosh,
so
bless her heart.
I think that I just wanted to share that because it's really important to be aware of that with all these people. Yeah.
I completely agree. And again, that's another reason why I stream to Facebook along with doing the live Zoom, because I have 3 or 4 members who never come to a live Zoom rehearsal, but also always watch the Facebook video, because it's a way for them to be involved without it being stressful and right in their faces. So if you can find multiple ways to share your rehearsal, it's a good thing. It really is. That way everyone can participate in their own place.
Guys, does anyone else have any more questions for Jen? I'm sure she's an open book.
Pretty much.
Don't see anything coming in.
I will say we always finish our rehearsal with a handhold where we actually put our hands up like this, and it looks like it looks like we're holding hands, and we do How We Sang Today. And then I always finish rehearsal by unmuting everyone and just letting chaos reign for a little bit. People talk to each other and say, hey, I love your hair and look at your hat and all that. And it's just fun, amazing chaos to hear the voices and all of that. So it really is the highlight of my week, and I'm just so grateful to see their faces when I see their faces. We'll also extend the invitation. If anyone ever wants to come in and sit in a rehearsal with my chorus, you are absolutely welcome. We welcome observers all the time.
Thank you, Jen.
Of course. Oh, look, you unmuted everyone. Oh, see, I'm so happy right now.
What day of the week is your rehearsal?
It's on Mondays.
Rehearsal.
Monday nights, 6:30 Eastern.
We have no Monday night rehearsals in Region 1, so you're just going to get everybody.
Oh, yay! We love it. We love guests.
Watch out.
So you guys know I've been to one already, and they are fabulous.
Oh, that's right. Marion came to one of our rehearsals. I loved having her. Thank you, Marion.
Welcome.
Yeah, we are. We're totally open. It's been great to see all of your faces. I know so many of you, and also the new faces that I haven't met yet. What a pleasure.
Yay!
Oh, yay!
Yeah, Jen, I've really enjoyed the director connections. Those have been great.
I'm so glad to hear
You
that.
all
Wendy.
should do that.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
It's it was unexpected. It was one little thing put on the Facebook page that says, hey, who wants to get together? And now we have like over 100 directors who are part of this. It's
really
crazy.
huge. It's great.
Fantastic.
Thank you. It's a blast.
Well, Jen, thank you so much for doing this. And I've got lists of notes. I'm texting with my people who are here. I mean, it's just fabulous. It's been great.
We're in trouble now.
I'm one of her people. I don't like all her texting.
Get over it,
You're
Patty.
gonna just have to blame me. I'm so sorry.
That's
Oh my God.
More things for us to do.
I already got a text from Patty. She said, I can tell you, watch out for your brain, sweeters. I know.
During
go to
She
bed.
was thinking. I could feel it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Text will be out by
this
like 6
was
o'clock tomorrow
awesome.
morning.
Yeah.
Go to bed, Karen.
Awesome.
I hope you
awesome
didn't take
stuff,
a nap
Jen.
today.
Oh, it's my and seriously, thank you all for opening up your region and inviting me to come. I don't take that lightly, and I have enjoyed it a ton. And I'll be sharing my email as well. So anytime
look forward
you
to
have
it.
questions, please
Thank
don't
you.
hesitate.
Thank you so much, Jen.
Thank you. Great.
Guys,
Thanks, Jen.
My
I know
pleasure.
ladies, I know there's been a lot of emails coming out, but I'm going to, or Beth or I will send that resource list that Jen listed so that everyone has it.
And the Zoom 101 plus the master class recording will be posted on the website in the next day or two.
Wow.
Hopefully.
You guys are doing so much stuff. I love it.
You guys are so quick. Thank you.
I know. And the name of Jen's chorus again, we need that.
It is
Phoenix City.
Okay.
Phoenix City
Thank you.
Chorus.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And Jen, you're not singing with Metro, are you?
I sing with Song of Atlanta.
Song of Atlanta, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is
not
Sharon
too
Holmes in your
shabby.
chorus?
Sharon Holmes right now is an associate member, but yes, she is in my chorus and I adore her. And Lynn
Yeah.
Billings Thomas too.
Yes.
They were both in Millennium
Region
with
I
us.
Yep.
know. They speak of it so fondly.
Aw.
They love
And
being a part
Valley
of that
Shore
chorus.
originally.
Yes.
Yeah, they were originally in Valley Shore and then they went to
Yep.
Millennium.
Aw.
We
Jen,
miss
what
them.
voice part do you sing normally in chorus?
Oh, me, I
Lead.
usually sing lead. I have sung baritone, but lead is my home
It's a killer
voice
lead.
part. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And I sing bass first thing in the morning, and that's it.
I have bass tracks right in the morning.
That's when they happen, right when I wake
Go
up.
in.
Angie just said that the last one she
Oh.
did is she was hitting a low C or something. She's like, oh, I totally just sang that first thing out of bed.
Oh,
Yes,
five.
right, Angie? And it feels so good, and then it's gone.
Yes.
Ugh.
I threw on a sweatshirt. I recorded the track with a low C, and then I went and made my coffee, and I was like, and it's gone.
Yep,
It's gone.
exactly.
That's hysterical. Welcome to Bass World.
Yes, I
Right.
love Bass World. Just saying.
Director, I always spend a lot of time just pointing at bass. It's just down there.
I have a like when after I'm warmed, the low like
Exactly.
E, it's a crapshoot. So I sit in
Yes.
front of the basses and I'll sing the bass line and then I'll go like this and they'll all sing it and I'm like, yep, that one.
Yes.
They know where it is.
No, right there. Thanks.
So I will say, as a bass, to be honest with you, as I warm, you would think, that they say stretch your range, right? Sing those tenor high notes, and the lower your range goes. The warmer my voice gets, the less low I can go.
Yeah, that's everywhere.
That's the bass, though.
Yeah.
That's
Right. Yeah. Huh. That's
I'm not complaining. I don't want to sing anything else.
Low B flat.
Low B flat, baby.
Same director on everything anyway. So.
I know, right?
Right.
Oh, so good to see everyone. Like, I'm just so with your faces. I can see everyone.
I know.
You can
Alexis,
tell what a
Sam.
positive region this is. You can actually feel it through the Zoom, really, truly.
We love each other.
Yeah,
We
you
do.
can tell.
I think,
I love
the RMT and this odd life that we're living right now is almost kind of a good thing. It's kind of really making us stretch our thoughts and boxes and envelopes. And so I think it's a good thing.
And thank you, RMT, for doing so much work. I mean, it's only, the middle of May, and look how much we've